thanks for stopping by the channel. As you can see, the setup is different because I am at my parents' house for the holidays, but I wanted to still get my videos out. Happy Thanksgiving for those who celebrate Thanksgiving, and for the ones that don't celebrate Thanksgiving, that's cool. But still, I hope you have a wonderful day and you eating good and relaxing because you got a day off of work. Because that's really the reason for the season. Not getting work, not getting work, not having to go to work and still getting paid. But let's talk about Real Housewives of Potomac. This is my review for season 6, and this is part 3 of the reunion. I gotta get this going. My family just came and my sinuses. So I'm gonna start off with Wendy versus, Giselle and them. So they're going back and forth. And here's my thing for Wendy. I totally agree with Wendy because once she broke it down, but I felt like Wendy, so I saw a comment on Twitter that was like, Wendy doesn't know how to land a plane. And I was like, yeah, if Candace knows how to stick the landing, Wendy is circling the terminal. Like she's still in the air trying to wait for them to open up a gate so she can land. Because it was like Wendy's reactions to things, it was too much. Because I got where she was coming from. I didn't like how Andy basically shitted on her poster board. Granted, it was a bit much, but every time someone does a reveal, it's a bit much. Kenya with the bullhorn, with the scepter. What's her name? Lazy Oils with the binder last season. We had Kim. I ain't gonna lie, that was iconic when Kim brought back the bunny to give to Lisa Rinna for her grandchild's christening. So it's like, we know the moment. Honestly, when you try to have a moment, it's always there's a hint of corniness to it because it's like, why do you have to do all this stuff to make your point? There's a hint of corn to it, basically. And I just thought it was kind of messed up how he kind of was like, oh, so that's what we're doing? Yeah, that's what we're doing, Andy. That's what you want. That's what you live for, stupid. But she had a point. I will say when it comes to Wendy versus Robin, I am really 60-40. 40% of me believes that Robin knew what was going on, that Robin knew that they were going to be there. And that's the problem with Robin being so attached at the hip with Giselle and even being cool with Ashley, is that you're guilty by association. It's kind of like birds of a feather flock together. So we just automatically assume that of course you're in the mix. Of course you were you would know. But but the 70%, that said no, 60% of me believes she didn't know, and maybe she thought it was a different rumor, because that was Robin's thing. Robin thought it was a whole different rumor, and I kind of believe her because it's there's always so many other rumors coming up about them that that maybe it was a different rumor. But I can understand I'm about to say Rudy, that's my nephew in the background. I can hear him click clacking, my doggy nephew. But I got where she was coming from. That's all I'm gonna say. I got where both ladies were coming from. I'm gonna give Robin one and say maybe she really didn't know. Then with Giselle irked me because Giselle kept saying, I told you I didn't believe it. Okay, if you didn't believe it, why did you bring it on the show? And I get where Wendy was saying, well, because y'all were plotting on my family. But I don't even think they were plotting on the family. I just think they offered you up as the sacrificial lamb for this season. Last year, Candace was supposed to be the sacrificial lamb, but Monique's psychotic ass made herself the sacrificial lamb. And I think it made it easier for Giselle and Robin to oust Monique. Same, and that's what it is with Wendy. I think it was Wendy's turn to be the sacrificial lamb. Every season since Candace has been on, she's kind of been the sacrificial lamb because Dorothy throws her to the wolves every chance she gets. So it's there was really no need for them to bring rumors about Candace, because it's like you kind of bring the drama yourself, basically. So I got it. I do think it was a bit much for the poster board, but it's Housewives. It's meant to be extra. So then it came to the conversation where Wendy was like, Giselle, you kept saying that we had a conversation, and I pulled phone records, and like I kind of was like, ooh, she pulled phone. I thought that was but Wendy had a point. She was like, for you to say we had a conversation about it, you're lying, because we only spoke for like a minute or 60 seconds. And that's true. Like there's not much you can say in a minute other than hi, bye, are you okay? You good? All right, cool. I'm at the store. I'm out. I'll call you back. Catch you later. Dip. You can do that in 30 seconds or a minute. So there's no way that they could have like an in-depth conversation the way Giselle had been saying that they had been having about this situation. So I understand Wendy's frustration, because you're out here saying that, because I even did a video about it where I felt like maybe Wendy was putting on for the cameras because she wanted to like have people like her more. But for her to bring out the phone records and be like, bro, we only spoke for a minute, and we only spoke for 2 minutes all together. What were we talking about in 2 minutes? What? And I was like, you know what? She right. What were y'all talking about for a minute? So that she made a point. I just think that Wendy was just circling. And I also think that she was just so ready on go that like oftentimes she just needed to shut up, sit back and be pretty, and just let people handle their own things, because she kept jumping in with Candace. And it's like, Candace didn't really need your help. You're just making the situation kind of worse. And that's why Candace said, don't give her no more, because she realized that like talking to Mia was giving Mia airtime and more moment, because if no one spoke to Mia wouldn't have nothing to really say. So then we get to the husband. So the husbands come out. Well, no, let's talk about Robin. That's how y'all. That's let you know I didn't really care about Robin's section. Like, excuse me, y'all. They talked about Robin's depression, which I'm just kind of like, girl, they got to the end to speak to you. I'm just ready for Robin to be demoted, because she doesn't add anything to the cast. Like, when I say her personal life is not intriguing anymore, it's the same thing every season, and she's been on for 6 seasons. It's a same thing of will they, won't they, with her and Juan getting married, and will they get their lives together? So it's not worth it. You need to come in?
I need to open the door. They went downstairs, so.
So then they were like, is her and Juan supposed to have kids? And I'm just kind of like, no. And it would be stupid. Hi, Rudy, my doggy nephew. It would be stupid for her to have kids with him, because she has all these, hi, Rudy, all these complaints about him, and how she felt like she was alone when she was dealing with the other 2 kids. So I'm just kind of like, don't have no kids with that boy. And clearly you can see like he's not going to help you, because even when you were dealing with your depression, he was mad about you not getting the kids up, when clearly he could have got up and got them kids ready himself. So I wouldn't. And it's kind of stupid at this point. Like honestly, Robin's story is done. Story is done. If they want to bring Robin back when Carter, I don't remember the other little boy. Is it her kid? I'm gonna just call it, the boys are older, like way older, like probably like high school age. Then maybe, because they probably have more things like going to basketball camp or football camp, or like, or being in drama club or whatever. We don't know what they want to do when they get older, but I'm just saying like it would be more to their household. Now it's really nothing to their household, and it's kind of like, it's stupid to me. And it's also to me not fair that like everybody else's husbands have to be, well, not have to be, come to the reunion, but Juan doesn't come, and neither does Michael, and Giselle don't never have nobody sitting behind her. So it's whatever. So the husbands come out, and they're chilling, they're asking. I thought it was rude when Andy asked Eddie, like, do you always get mistaken for Idris Elba? And Eddie was like, all the time, but you could tell he was being sarcastic. And I felt like it was rude for Giselle to be under her breath like, he ain't no Idris Elba. And I'm just kind of like, Giselle, shut up. You don't never have anybody sitting behind you. And mind you, let's just put that out. You don't need a man to like validate you, or a woman needs to be there to validate a man. But for someone who seeks validation in that section or that realm of that, Giselle needs to shut up, because she never has anybody sitting behind her. Sherman ain't never sat behind her. Jamal didn't sit behind her. The other like light skinned dude that she was dating, he wasn't there to sit behind her. Oh, y'all, my sinuses. No one has ever like sat behind her. So I feel like, shut up. Like, shut up. And for you to have so much like balls for you to be able to say stuff in your confessional, you never are ready for the reunions, and you never can like articulate or have enough guts to say things out loud. Because why you had to say that underneath your breath, Giselle? Why couldn't you just be like, he ain't no Idris Elba? And then get like, I don't know. I just feel like Giselle was in her feelings, because she got like, even though I felt like Wendy was doing too much, she got ate up. Like, Wendy was letting her know, like, girl, I don't see it for you. I'm probably never gonna see it for you, because you came after my man, and my man is my family, and that's my ride or die. So I'm always gonna be on your neck now. I'm always gonna have my foot on your neck. And I don't think Giselle is ready, nor is Robin ready to have an opponent like Wendy, because other than what's her name, the bird lady, Monique like wanted them to be her friends. Monique desperately wanted to be associated with the Green Eye Bandits. Wendy doesn't really care. I think she'd be fine if they were cool, but since they crossed the line and came for Eddie, it's like, I don't want y'all. I don't need y'all. I do think Wendy needs to be careful with aligning herself with Karen, because I don't even think Karen liked Wendy. I just think Karen was being strategic in filming with Wendy, because she didn't have anybody else to film with other than Mia. Yeah, other than Mia, because Robin and Giselle are cool with Karen, but not to this extent where they would hang out with her. And then Ashley and her are kind of cool, but Ashley is always going to go with Robin and Giselle. So the only person she really had was Mia, because Candace wasn't featuring Karen. And I think Wendy kind of realized that she needs to be weary of Karen, because people were taking pictures of Wendy's face when Giselle and Karen got up to hug. And I think Wendy was taken aback by it, because she's like, girl, you were so on, like, you were always like at her throat and on her like neck about wishing death upon Ray, and then saying Ray, she needs to apologize to Ray, and she didn't. But you got up to hug her, and you're doing this fake crying. So I think Wendy realizes that like Karen ain't her friend either. Like, honestly, if Wendy's smart, the only person that she needs to care about or have such a strong bond with or be close to is Candace, because Candace has proven to be like, she is loyal to a fault, even when it's a detriment to herself. Because we'll get to that part, because Candace pissed me off at the end of this. So then, like I said, the husbands come out. What's it called? Chris was ready, because Chris was drinking. Chris said, I'm sick of y'all, and I'm going to tell y'all how I really feel. And then G was like, or Gordon, he don't know which is which sometimes, but he was chill. He wasn't drinking. We know Michael and Juan ain't there. Robin tried to say basketball season is year round, which it is, but like, I don't think the school Juan like coaches at, I don't think it's like is it a D1 school? Like, is it one of those? I'm not sure if it is, because I don't keep up with basketball like that. Because I'm like, if it's not like, and when I say D1, I'm talking about like UNC or like, it's UNC or Duke. Like, I'm thinking those schools, and I know how serious those schools are when it comes to like recruitment and training. So I'm like, I get those, but I'm just kind of like, is that what it does he teach at a school like that? Not teach, but coach at a school like that. And I don't think he does. Maybe they're like D2 or D3, but I'm not totally sure. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. And then Michael said it actually said something about Michael being like sick and he got like pneumonia or some shit like that. I don't know. I don't really care. But yeah, I think it's time for Ashley and Robin to be demoted and they could just be friends of the show because they don't give nothing for the past since season 1 or I'll give them season 2 or 3. We've seen the same story over and over with Ashley and Robin. It's will they want they will Robin, and then it's Ashley dealing with her husband cheating on her and popping out kids for him. So it's like there's nothing new. So what are you giving us? Then we get to like Mia versus Wendy, Candace. Yeah, Mia versus Wendy and Candace. Honestly, I feel like Wendy should have just shut up because Candace was doing fine getting Mia together. And it was like Wendy was just doing too much. She was just doing too much because that's the thing. He tossed your salad. Do you want to toss your salad? He tossed your salad. You tossed your salad. Salad. I was just like, Wendy, ma'am, take it down a couple of notches. But basically, and Robin even pointed out that Mia blatantly lied when she said Chris wanted to toss her salad. Like legit, I thought that it was going to be exposed that maybe Mia and Eddie had dealings because she was acting like she knew him. But kind of like I've seen like, y'all know I love Erica De Niro when she was saying that maybe that is a thing strippers have, like they make themselves really familiar with people in an instant. Because I really thought that Mia and Eddie had something going on. Like I thought that like it was going to be exposed that Mia and Eddie like had like messed around back in the day, and that's why Wendy don't like Mia, and maybe like Mia was before Wendy or something like that. And then for her to say that Chris tossed her salad, I was kind of like, Mia isn't even I think Chris's type, because if you look at it, Chris, like when they did the whole thing like who the women had a crush on, Chris has a crush on Giselle, but I think it's because Giselle's like personality is kind of confrontational, just like how Candace's personality is confrontational. Mia's is confrontational, but it's also stupid. That's really what it like. Mia is confrontational, but it gives an air of stupidity in it, to be honest. And I was happy that Andy asked G about it. And I really don't think G knows how much of a disaster and how much Mia be cutting up on the internet. And I also think that is why Mia made that post about Beverly Hills, like not RHOP, but Real Housewives of Potomac not adding to her life, because I think G probably started prying and realizing like Mia was showing her complete behind on Twitter and on Instagram. And I think he probably got into her and was like, girl, that's not what we do. That's not who we are. And you tripping. Because she really was tripping. Because Mia is even saying that like she has a whole new IG because she said she's leaving the negativity on one page. And I was kind of like, Mia, but you are the negativity. You started it because none of these ladies came at you. Ascala didn't mention your name like that. Wendy kind of mentioned you, but Wendy only mentioned you as it pertained to the show. And she only came at you when you came at her. Candace never really mentioned you. She really paid you dust. Like, you kept coming for the three of them, but I don't think she realized that Candace's stands, like I am a slight fan of Candace. Like I like Candace on the show, but I'm not a Candace stan. Like I may defend her a lot on Twitter, but like I'm not a stan. And I really think that like Candace's fans are slightly turning into like going into standum territory. Because when I say them people read down, them people will, and I don't think Mia was ready for Candace's stands to really like hit her in her throat, because they don't play about her. And I thought it was messed up for Mia to laugh because what's her name? Dorothy called And I thought it was in poor taste for Candace to answer it, because you know your husband is not featuring your mama because your mama being messed up towards him. And she answered the phone, and then when she got off the phone, I think this is when Andy asked her, like, do you want to be like your mother? And Candace was like, there are some positive things about my mom that I want to be like, but I also know I have taken on negative traits of hers, and I'm trying to work through those. And Mia's over there giggling, and I'm like, Mia, your mama is a recovering crackhead who left you in the care of your father, who also was a crackhead, who did not watch you, and you have burns on your body because you poured oatmeal on yourself to feed yourself, and then you cried all the whole entire season about your mama leaving you in the foster care system. Then you tried to dog your mama out by saying she wasn't motherly enough, and then you hit your mama with she's not being motherly enough, to hit her with, oh, she's not being motherly enough, but I want to give her my kids, but then she's not being a good grandmother because she won't watch my kids beyond the time that we agreed upon. So what traits of your mom do you want? I would take Dot over your mama any day. Even though Dot got her own stuff, but you giggling over there, I was like, oh my God, you, like I said, an air of stupidity. She has an air of stupidity. And then I was glad that Andy asked about like the tossing salad thing, and like she made herself look stupid because I don't think her husband knew how crazy she was being. So then that was that, and then Nicki Minaj is incoming. And mind y'all, I'm disappointed in her because I love her music, but her personal life, shambles. But I'm not gonna lie, I was excited to see her. I really do feel like she could have just been in part 3. Like, I feel like they could have just made the reunion like 2 hours longer, because the questions she's asking are fan questions, and I feel like they could have just asked those at the end. Like, honestly, this didn't really need to be 4 parts, I mean. But she looked good. I wish her hair was black. I love when Nicki Minaj wears black or like red hair, because it brings out her features, and she's such a pretty lady that I'm like, black and red, like dark red hair, makes her look gorgeous. But yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be messy next episode. She asking all the girl the messy questions, but all in all, it seemed like all the ladies took it in good fun. And I like the fact that you could tell that she actually watched the show. Like, she's been watching since season 1. Like, she just didn't hop on the train during season 5. Like, she's been an active like follower of the show since season 1. So I think it's straight. Yeah. Sorry if this is all over the place. And if you can hear, they moving chairs. They doing a lot. But again, y'all, happy Thanksgiving. If you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, hope you having a relaxing day. Remember to be bravely authentic. And drop down in the comments below and let me know your thoughts. Bye.